Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, this is Gonzo.
This is Ewok.
And today we are going to be playing Geordie Space Program! Should point out we're also playing Geordie Space Program better than ever. There's a new version.
We are, yes. Version 0.90.0.705 beta.
Also, we should say Happy New Year to all viewers as well. If we get this out on time, it should be going up on New Year's Day.
Yeah, this will be the brand new year, new Geordie Space Program.
New start, bigger and better than ever.
Well, not a new start. We're keeping the progress we've made so far, but this is now a new series.
Yeah, but what I meant was by new start, not that we're getting rid of progress, but we're going to play well.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Yes, new version of Kerbal Space Program. That means this is officially Season 2 of Geordie Space Program, the next generation.
Yep.
Gone through 2 iterations of the game.
Our numbering system's going to get very confusing very quickly. I'm already confused and I'll record it.
Well, we've got the 2 episodes of the original series.
Yep.
And then we've got the abandoned mini-series.
Yep.
And then we've got the next generation.
Yep, that's it. Now, second series of Next Generation. So, last time, just to recap, we went to Juna.
We did.
Ewok managed to land himself a lovely little rover on there.
It was a 1 hour, 15-minute mission.
Yep.
We landed on Juna at around the 1 hour and 10 mark.
Yep.
And then 4 minutes later, I flipped the rover over and effectively destroyed it.
Yeah. And I didn't even get to have a go of it. Before we started recording, I said, can we hop in and just see if we can maybe get the thing turned over? I assure you, viewers, we cannot turn that thing over. It's trapped there forever. Still generating power. Still saying, help, help, I'm upside down. Yeah. So we've had to turn that off in the head shed. Its little warning signal's coming out. That's gone. What are the plans for today then? What are we going to do?
Well, we've got the space station in orbit, and I told you that the docking ports work male to female, so you had to spin them around on the receiver and leave them the way they were on
this is right.
It was docking to it. Doesn't work that way. It's completely wrong. As a result, we've got a space station in orbit with 3 Kerbals on board, and the docking ports are upside down. So nothing can ever dock with that. So that space station, I'm afraid, is effectively useless.
Less than useless.
I do want a proper space station.
Yeah,
so I think a proper space station is one of the next things we're going to do. In the new beta than ever, you can get contracts to do space stations, so we can have somebody pay for it. However, before we make a new space station, we're going to have to scuttle the old one.
Yeah.
And before we scuttle the old one, we're going to have to get the 3 guys who are on there back.
Of course, with it being Geordie Space Program, scuttling a space station means something totally different in the Geordie colloquialism than it does to maybe other people who are thinking of naval vessels being scuttled. What does it mean to a Geordie if you scuttle something?
But I don't know, what does it mean?
It means you shag it. It means you shag it to death. That's what scuttling means.
It doesn't really. I've never heard that one before.
What do you mean?
Honestly, I've never heard that before.
Jesus.
We've got some science to spend. I'm just sort of looking at stuff. Do you want to get some extra aerospace stuff?
We have got the bigger parts, and there's even bigger parts again in this this version, isn't there, with this new release?
So I mean, there's some of the Mark II stuff there, or there's just generally better.
It would be handy, and one of the things that this update's brought in is survey missions, where we might be given contracts where we go to maybe a certain part of the planet, and certainly space planes, or making it a decent plane seems to be a good way of doing that. But I think right now let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
Look at the cash we've got. One of the things that Beta Than Ever introduces that unfortunately we're not going to be able to show off in our space program is upgradable facilities. Your facilities start small at level 1. And you can upgrade them to level 3, which gives you new abilities, new things to do. Because we're playing on an existing save game where we've invested a bit of time into it, the game has automatically given us level 3 facilities, so we won't get to show that. To be honest, it would be very tedious to watch.
Yeah, it's a bit of a grind fest, sort of like starting a new game from scratch at the moment.
Yeah,
isn't it?
It can take quite a while to get that sorted.
Yeah.
Now, we don't have any of the new style contracts here. Now, I'm hoping that's just because our contracts need to refresh.
Yeah.
I do believe that it is save game compatible, so we should see them starting to come through. You'll see that we've now got pilots, engineers and scientists, which we didn't have before. We can level our guys up and get better abilities. Everyone's level 0 at the minute.
That's a shame.
So we're going to do this mission with Jeb, if you fancy. See if we can get him.
See if he can be the hero and see if he can bring down his compatriots from space. Just in time for the New Year's party on Kerbal.
Now, in terms of vessels, what do we have going forward? Because things are really sort of messed up.
Testes.
Yeah, I think this was an old test craft that we built for
Testes.
something.
We'll call it the Testes.
Yeah.
We're clever. We were clever in the past.
Testes.
Witty name.
Let's delete it.
That's probably not going to be much good, no.
Testcraft 1, we can probably delete the ones called Testcrafts. We're going to start naming things sensibly, okay? Okay, that's a Mun rocket, we know what that is.
We just need to put it in brackets afterwards. That's all we need. What about the spam javelin? Oh, you're getting rid of Space Monkey and Space Monkey's baby.
Let's have a look at... Well, they had locked in invalid parts. I'm just trying to have a clear out. That's an interesting ship.
Certainly one word for it.
Probably do what we needed to do, to be honest.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, it's got a lot on it. You know what? I'm going to quickly build something new.
Yeah, why not? New year, new start.
New year, new shit.
I should stop saying new start. People are going to think we're deleting the old save.
Right.
Yeah, get on with
I'm
it.
one of them.
You'll notice, that's an ambitious first start.
You'll notice that this is all different now.
Yeah.
Everything's going down the side, not down the top. Also, you can offset things, move them left and right and stuff like that.
That's nice.
Makes building your rockets a lot easier.
It's reminiscent of Spore a little bit, like more intuitive. Just kind of grab a part and pull up one of the your arrows.
It really helps build things. In fact, I'll show you one of the things I like to do. I'll show you this very quickly because we're not really going to be using it on this one. You know how when you've got external fuel tanks and you drop them, that quite often blows the engine up.
Yeah.
What I like to do is get some girders on like that, and down there, and then you get the offset. And put that there, and then 4 of them. I've done that wrong, but you get the picture. You create a little protective shell around your
that's
engine
quite nice. It
using girders.
Looks quite gnarly as well, actually. I imagine if you've got 4 of them around it.
Yeah, you create a little protective shell, stop things from blowing up. That's one of my latest tricks.
It's pretty good.
Only possible using the offset button. You wouldn't be able to do that before because it would stick out too much. It would get in the way of stuff.
I'm right in thinking that you've played quite a bit of this over the Christmas time with you, sort of having a bit of time to chillax as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a couple of days. But I've been playing it hard those couple of days.
I'll just say, viewers, before we started recording, Ewok showed us his own personal save. He's achieved some pretty fantastic stuff in his personal save.
In the last couple of days, I've created 2 space stations, one around the Mun. I've docked successfully with said space stations.
That's what we're hoping for. I probably can't do it with this one, but that's a good sign. That is a good sign.
Done some of the satellite missions as well. They're new missions. You create satellites. You have to get them in very sort of specific orbits. Get your periaps and your apoaps at certain...
Yeah, you've got like geosynchronous orbits and all sorts going on.
Yeah, I've got a Minimus satellite in geosynchronous orbits.
You see,
obviously, I would have never been able to do that if I hadn't followed the mission instructions.
See, the Ewok space program really is a shining example of what Geordie space program should be. And what my question is why isn't Geordie space program like Ewok space program? What goes wrong between you playing by yourself and us turning this little microphone on and me turning up?
The fact on Ewok space program, if I cock a launch up, I revert.
Right.
I don't play as hardcore as we do in this, where we've got a no revert policy. And, when it means I can afford to be a little bit more ambitious in Ewok space program, because I can build something that will explode.
And they try
4 out of 5 times.
Revert. Yeah.
Just keep doing it and keep optimising it until eventually it works.
I'll be honest, with Gonzo space program, my own little playthrough, I play as hardcore as we do here. If I balls something up, I've ballsed it up. That's just the way I roll, baby.
Well, I guess you're a more hardcore individual than myself.
It has been commented. Now I was a bit concerned about crew capacity on this thing, but you've stuck that little cockpit on the top there. We should probably talk about the rocket as we're building it. People usually like to hear the sort of the rationale behind why we're doing things.
I'm just cobbling it together. So this is going to be where the 3 new crew members. Actually, you know what? How much does that weigh? Because let's think sensible about it.
It's quite a heavy little beast, that one, I think.
So that weighs 4.12. And if I go to utility, we should have the Hitchhiker storage container. That holds 4, and it weighs 2.5, so we should be using that.
Yeah.
That's the sensible way forward.
It certainly is. Maybe put an adapter on anyway, if you're going to do that.
Got a problem, because I was using that as the main cockpit, so we're going to need a new main cockpit.
It's alright.
Where's that gone? Where's it gone?
It'll be around somewhere.
Can you see it?
There it is. Aye.
Pull you to one side.
So that up the top. Get rid of that
there.
one. And maybe put maybe like an adapter on the top just for look's sake, you know, like a fairing, just to make that look a little bit more streamlined.
Okay, will do, buddy.
Serves very little purpose, but maybe a decent size.
We could have the big one like that, or we could have the little one like that.
And
Huh? Or do you prefer the big one?
Put the big one on.
Put the big one on.
I always prefer the big ones. There we are.
Looks horrible.
It looks better. Right. So we're going to bring this whole thing back down, then, you reckon? We probably want to make sure the parachutes are maybe on the storage container. We don't want that getting ripped off as we're coming down.
Let's pop them on there.
Yeah.
I don't know. That needs to be up there. It'll not get ripped off. That never happens.
If we bring all of our stranded Kerbals back, and then this thing's coming down, and then it rips off, kind of like what happened to Jeb in the alternative timeline, where the parachute's deployed and just tore everything to shreds, I'm going to be very upset, and we're going to be starting this new year with a beating. I can tell you that much.
It'll not happen that way. You need to have a bit more faith. Because you gotta have faith. Right, so plenty of parachutes on there, that's fine. We've got legs on there. That's a stage. We're going to need a fair bit of monoprop.
Aye.
Because it's not going to be very manoeuvrable.
Is it not worth maybe sticking on like an SAS module or something like that? Can you fit one of them up onto the top?
Yeah, I could fit an SAS module.
We'd never
That's
really
another
use
thing. You used to get free SAS.
Yeah.
In the original or the last build, you don't get that anymore. To get any SAS, you need either put an SAS module on or have a pilot.
Aye.
And the pilot sort of creates an artificial.
Now Jeb's a pilot, so we should get some in theory. But I'm right in thinking he can level up, and then he gets better at doing what he's doing as he's leveling up.
As he levels up, he gets abilities. So like he can maneuver to say, you could say Jeb maneuver to prograde, and he'll turn prograde and hold it.
Right. Okay.
That's at level 1, and then after that you can have really useful things, like if you've set a maneuver node, he'll turn towards your maneuver node.
Aye.
And hold it in maneuver node, which is really good for manoeuvring, surprisingly enough.
Who would have thought that, eh?
I know.
Right, okay. So we're getting some RCS on here, just to give a little bit more control.
Absolutely.
And you're spacing these out like you know what you're doing.
Well, I just want them evenly across that bit of the rocket. I mean, if I take that off and get an idea where the centre of mass is. Say I want one around the centre of mass.
Aye.
And then the others
sort of equidistant on either side of it.
From there. And that'll prevent any spin from happening.
Aye, just keep things nice and straightforward.
You mentioned having an SAS module.
Yeah.
An advanced reaction wheel. It's probably a bit big. Inline stabiliser.
Yeah, maybe just drop it behind the cockpit there. They always, unfortunately, look a little bit like decouplers to me, which always sets us off in a bit of a panic.
Right, let's pop that back on the bottom, and then I think a few solid fuel boosters, and we'll be...
Do you reckon that'll do it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And when we say a few, I'll put in 4 on here.
I think 4 would probably do it, but we're nothing if not overcautious, so I'll stick 6 on. 4 would probably do it, you know, I mean... Yeah, we'll go for 6. We'll go for 6.
Well, I'm impressed. This is a much smaller rocket than we would usually put together.
The big ones. Now, these always stick on the wrong way, so when that shoots off, they're going to flip inside and they're going to blast the bloody engine off, aren't they? So what I like to do is pull them down there, and I'll have them connected like that.
Well, that's pretty clever, mind. That is pretty clever.
I love this new offset thing. It really opens up what you can do with your rockets.
Yeah.
It even means if you want, like quite often I'll build a probe, but I don't want the probe core visible. So you could offset it by, because that's the main bit. It won't let me do that.
I know what you're saying,
but you know what
could just drop it in.
You could offset it by pulling it into the body like that.
That looked a bit like a foreskin on a dick. I'll be honest. So as soon as I saw that, it's exactly what went through my head. I'm not sure what that's...
you dirty boy.
I'm a dirty dog. What can I say?
Right, that's all.
Mate, this looks like a decent rocket, you know.
Why, thank you. I do try.
It actually looks sort of like a proper rocket, what real people would make.
Yeah, what might work and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, don't count your chickens before the hatch. We don't know if it's going to do the biz yet.
I think personally, with the orange fuel tank and then the large grey fuel tanks, having those larger parts, I don't think that is going to be enough, if I'm brutally honest. Just thinking about the previous times we've launched stuff, we've usually had like maybe a good layer or two of solid rockets. We've had maybe 4 or 5 engines going off. I know it's a hell of a pusher, that mainsail you've whacked on the bottom, but
I haven't actually put the mainsail on. I put the skipper on.
why have you done that?
I don't want it to run out of fuel too quickly. I'm calling it the orbital troop transport.
Alright, you want to make sure that we've only got one crewman in? You've also hit escape there.
I have, because what I want to do is wait until the space station is getting closer to the space centre.
Oh, yeah, good mind. Yeah, good. You're thinking things through. I like it.
Because I don't want to shoot up and it be miles away. So if it's maybe sort of 45... well, not 45 degrees. If it's that way, if it's 90 degrees that way, and then we'll start thinking about launching. I don't know how long this is going to take to get into orbit, so it might undershoot, might overshoot, but if we can get it close.
Yeah.
So it seems we've got about a 90,000... Yeah, that's sort of sticking at the 90,000 mark, isn't it? So about 89 over
circular,
there.
Yeah.
So it's an equatorial orbit, 90,000, ready to go.
Nice. Okay, and so you get ready for launch there. I'll just point out, in the interests of full disclosure as well, I haven't had a chance to play on the latest version of Kerbal Space Program. For some reason, my computer just doesn't like Kerbal Space Program anymore. A couple of weeks before Christmas, I loaded the game up and it crashed very quickly. I haven't had any mods installed or anything like that, and I can't figure out the reason why it's crashing, and it seems to be fairly much at random. But that being said, feeling a bit sorry for myself just after Christmas. I have just spent the best part of about 1,600 quid buying a brand new gaming rig, which I'm very excited about. Ordered that.
Well, I'll tell you what,
yesterday. Yeah,
that'll last you a good while, mate, because that's about how much I spent on this gaming rig that we're playing on.
And this is a few years old. You've had it a while.
It must be 5 years old. And yeah, I'm not playing things in like Mega Ultra anymore, but I'm playing next gen games. I've had Murdered Soul Suspect, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Shadow of Mordor.
Aye, they're the ones to sort of benchmark your system, really, aren't they, currently?
I'm not playing them on Ultra, but on a 5-year-old machine that I spent £1.50 on, I'm playing them on high settings, and to be honest, on high settings they look nicer than they do on the console.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just saying that to myself. But
touch of the old PC bias, but...
So yeah, it might be a lot of money, but what you've got there is, you've got a machine that's going to last you maybe even 2 generations of consoles, you know?
Aye. I mean, the machine that I've getting, it's a 4790 i7 processor, 16 gig of Kingston Beast RAM in it, which is nice. 16 gig of super fast, and then I've also put a GTX 980 in. Just strange, because I've always been an AMD kid. I've always stuck the Radeon cards.
I've always been a GeForce kind of guy, but you've always went with
I was
the
looking at the 290X, which is kind of like the comparative one for AMD versus GTX. And the reviews that I was reading, I probably would have saved myself 150 notes, plus getting the Radeon rather than the GeForce, but I thought, you know what? Fuck it. If I'm doing it, I want to go balls to the wall and I want to spend a fortune. And I thought, you know what? Just looking at it, I'm certainly. I know it's a dangerous thing to talk about GeForce versus Radeon on an internet sort of basis, because everybody's got an opinion, like everybody has an arsehole. But I thought, you know what? I'm going to turn sides. I'm going to give it a chance. When I was much younger, when I first started building my own PCs, when I was about 16, 17, I used to use GeForce all the time. They were the daddies back in the day, and it was just I ended up getting a machine. Where I could get my hands. I needed a decent graphics card and I didn't have much cash. I got a Radeon, I think it was a 5450 at the time, and then I never looked back, really stuck with them. One of my machine at the minute is 7750. Oh no, 7570, possibly. It's one of the 7 series ones anyway, and it's been good. It's the best that my machine will currently hold, but I've not really been that impressed with it, to be honest. So I thought, you know what? Again, like the theme of this episode, clean break, fresh start. If I'm getting a new beastie PC, why not just put in the most expensive graphics card I can find, rather than jumping up. The next one was going to be nearly about 900 quid. You know, just for a single graphics card rather than like Crossfire or SLI.
I've been interested in upgrading as well, but the thing that's holding me back is my motherboard at the moment. It's only got 2 slots for RAM. So I've currently got 8 gig in there.
So you're going to need 2 8 gig sticks.
Yeah, and the 8 gig sticks are bloody expensive. They're available now. They weren't available when I first got the computer.
I'm seeing 16 gig of. I'm seeing 8 gig sticks for about 80 quid.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean 160 notes, considering you can double your RAM's not ridiculous, mind.
I know, but
it's still a lot.
It would be. Aye. It would be cheaper to buy a new motherboard and 4 4s. I'm a bit worried about this. We should have went with the mainsail engine. Problem is, lost a lot of speed when we dropped the...
I was worried that was going to happen. Yeah. Aye.
Lost a lot of speed when we dropped the...
Do you reckon the Poodle's going to be enough to maybe get into a circular orbit though and do what we need to do and get back?
You know, we could be alright with this. I'm not giving in on it yet. I'll just hit the orbit there.
Aye, and see what we're looking like.
Came far too early.
Well, we'll see what we can do.
I've had that problem before, you know.
I hear.
Bum.
Aye. So yeah, in any event, hopefully my PC will be arriving a few days after this video goes up. It's been custom built. It'll take about 8 to 10 days. I'm imagining slightly longer with it being like the Christmas New Year time. But I cannot wait to get my hands on the thing. And you know what? You know the crazy thing? It's not even like there's any kind of like super powered AAA games that have been coming out recently or due to come out that I'm looking forward to. But I want it.
Yeah, you don't want to cut yourself out of anything. You don't want to think, I really would like that game, but I'm not going to be able to run it. Or, this game's alright, but I'm playing it at low graphics.
The major problem that I've had with my previous system, and I mean, it's quad-core, 4 gig of RAM, decent graphics card. It's been alright to run most games, and I tend to play indie more than anything else, and it tends to run most of them alright. But the problem is it's 32-bit. I'm stuck with 32-bit.
And there's games coming out now. It's only really just recently started happening, but the games are tittling out now that are 64-bit
that's
only.
It was
Galactic Civilization springs to mind. It's 64-bit only.
Well, there's a lot of them now, and to be honest, it feels like I'd kind of hit that point where, you know, when you suddenly feel that kind of like that point in kind of development where it's just kind of like, yeah, I've properly been left behind here now. Like I'm properly I'm playing on a relic. And that happened about probably 6 to 9 months ago, where I was still kind of holding on, didn't really want to do it, and of course I was saving for my wedding, getting married over the summertime. But then I thought, you know what, fuck it. So it's cost us 1,600 quid. I was going to do it on finance, and in the end, I checked my bank balance. I actually had a load of cash in there as well.
Oh, must be nice.
Do you know what it's about now? It's because I quit smoking last December. Been off the proper fags, with a couple of minor exceptions, but I've been off them for about a year now. I'm using one of these electric ones, and it saved us a friggin' fortune. Paid for quite a bit of my wedding. Paid so we could have an even nicer honeymoon than we thought we were going to be able to get. Paid for Christmas. It's bought us a new machine. Brilliant. Aye.
Cannot complain.
No.
And you know what? It is silly money that you spend on PCs. It really is. But it's a hobby that you get hours and hours and hours in.
This is it.
Kerbal Space Program alone, I looked at the other day, I've got 170 hours on this game, you know.
Aye, that's it.
I got the foil badge on Steam.
I saw you were showing that off when I came in this morning.
I already had the level 5 badge, and you know what? I don't collect cards, I don't collect badges, I'm not interested in all that stuff. And I looked at it, and I had 5 pages of cards, and I thought, you know what? Kerbal's a game I really like. I'm going to sell loads and loads of cards on the Steam marketplace and buy foil cards and get the Kerbal foil.
Aye.
As a little status treat. Symbol to me.
That's it. Just to treat yourself. Why
it's not like I've spent any money. You've got to credit Valve though, coming out with this whole Steam cards thing.
Oh, it's clever, mind.
Making money out of nothing.
You know, I don't want to say that it's something that's purely aimed at like a younger demographic, but you know what? It probably is, but it's very, very clever. It is clever.
It's really clever. They've created a commodity that doesn't exist.
Yep, that's it. Just shuffle. Well, let's be honest. International finance is very much like that. It's just shuffling numbers around on the page. That's getting very close there.
Still 88 kilometres away. Could be better.
And it's starting to come. Oh no, it's
actually getting closer. I get what you're saying. It looks like it's getting further away, but it's actually getting closer.
It's pushing that a little bit further. And then
9 kilometres. You know, 9... 8's close enough, mate. I can get with there from 8 kilometres away.
That's only an 8-second burn to do that. We've still got a lot of fuel in this, mate. I think this is a pretty decent little craft that you've built.
You know, it's not bad. It could be more efficient. Stick the mainsail engine on there instead of the skipper, and it will be more efficient.
So really what we need to do is make a note that we've got something that's pretty good at doing like little orbital tug missions.
Oh, you know what? I made a note of myself. It's just as well we didn't do a rover mission. When we've done this, we're going to go back to that rover design. because that's a damn good design. It'll get word any planet, but it doesn't have any RCS or SES on it, so it can't turn.
Aye.
We're going to go back to that design and stick the ability to turn on it.
That'll be handy. So then we've got like an interplanetary craft, which is capable of not doing super heavy lifting, but it can lift a fair bit of weight up.
I'm a little bit worried about the fact that...
Yeah, we've touched the atmosphere again. It's not really hitting our speed though. I think we're just on a bit of a glance and... Oh no, we'll properly come into it.
Yeah, cock this up majorly.
Bollocks.
I'm going to have to do a really inefficient burn.
Aye, just to push yourself up a bit. Can I be out? Should have probably checked that, really.
This is really going to mess with...
Aye, it is, but we cannot really help it. We need to be above the atmosphere.
Yeah, it helps.
Yeah, I mean... Come back down again there.
That's alright, because we've pushed beyond it. So we're going this way, you see.
So, that's obviously jiggered intercept there as well.
It has, absolutely. Right, so what's our app? 87. Right, we need to push that up a bit. So I'm going to do a pro-grade burn. My apologies, this is... I can't believe I didn't check that. You know what my problem was? I relied completely on the manoeuvre node. When I got a tick on the manoeuvre node, I just went, right, that's that done. And... Right, so that's 90. So that's probably going to be...
What do we like at the periapsis then? Because I think we're 58. Oh, we're going
to hit the atmosphere, but what I'll do is I'll do this burn, and that'll bring me around within 39 kilometres. And you know what? We're not going to be 14. I'll leave it at 14. That'll do.
Do you reckon 14 will be all right?
Yeah, I can get there. Well, I'll adjust it. See if I can get a bit closer.
7. 5. 2.7. No, that's 2.4. Oh,
7.2.
Aye, sorry.
There we go. I'll stick at 5. That'll bring our app up to 162, which isn't that far off. It actually means our relative speed isn't going to be that bad, which means our corrective burn, when we reach that point...
Shouldn't be ridiculous.
It should just be a couple of seconds. So this has worked out quite well.
That's not too bad at all, mate. I'm impressed. And actually, you seem to know what you're doing. I'm kind of a bit out the loop now with the Kerbal Space Program, with it not working on my machine. I haven't had a chance to play around with much stuff. I think the last time I did was probably back in October, November time, when I was playing around with some of our space plane designs.
You know what? I've impressed myself there. Because I made a bit of a cock up, but managed to put it right.
Aye, put it right and improve on it. Well done, mate.
Oh well, like I say,
maybe 2015 is going to be our year. Maybe this is the year where we do lots of good stuff. We've been all right the back half of this year, anyway. You think we've done some pretty good stuff?
The last episode was good.
Aye.
Before that, actually, you know what? Hang on. Oh yeah, that's.
Don't try and do anything too clever.
Don't get fancy.
Aye, we've got to catch the thing up. We still need to.
So
do a bit.
Hop over here. It's actually turning all right without using the RCS. But what I can do is use the RCS for the fine adjustments of...
We don't have solar panels on this, do we?
No, we don't, but I put loads of batteries on it. It'll be fine, mate.
How are we doing? I've still got quite a bit.
I didn't put solar powers on, but I put wads of batteries on.
That's alright. I suppose the logic being we're not going to be up here long enough where we'd really need to worry about it with that much battery power. Just take a lot away. Take a lot away.
I like to get pretty precise with my manoeuvres. You can't get much more precise than that.
Aye, that should be alright.
So, where's that taking? Well, 13.5.
That's not bad. That was just because obviously there was a little bit of a delay in doing it as well, just as you had to slow it down there. Took probably a few more seconds than necessary.
Oh yeah, but I mean...
The manoeuvre nodes work on the assumption that you do that delta V instantaneously, don't they? Like if you do that speed.
At that point.
Aye, which is why you always try and straddle the time.
Yeah, you try and...
Like if it's a 20-second burn, you'll start at 10 seconds before.
And roll to 10
Which is why it's never... Unfortunately in rocket science, for us at least, it's never an exact science, the rocket science. It's usually sort of like an educated, semi-educated guess. So we'll come back round to it.
We are. This is going to go quite smoothly. The problem is we're going to have to get close to it and then totally kill off our relative and then EVA the guys over.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. Try your best. That's all I can say. So yeah, what else has happened? Oh, the other thing for Christmas, Santa Claus brought me a wonderful new microphone as well. Obviously, we do our recording across here at Ewok's house as well, and use the same microphone we've been using probably about 9 months now. You got this fairly early on.
Fairly early on. We were
First
using
few videos
headsets
we used
first,
headsets, which was dreadful.
awful.
Aye. And it was just uncomfortable as well, more than anything. You know? I know a lot of YouTubers use headsets, but
we had really, really cheap headsets.
Aye,
and you don't want to be trying to
one.
communicate through headsets when you're in the same room.
Same room, aye. It's a bit embarrassing. Yeah, and it made a bit of an artificial environment. Sort of our ethos is always just kind of, this is the banter you're getting on our videos. It's the banter that we have when the two of us sit down just to mess around with games and have a cup of coffee anyway. It's always been kind of what we're trying to strive for. Try and keep it more conversational than anything scripted or anything kind of too gimmicky, really, you know. But in any event, yeah, got my hands on a new microphone. That was a present from me mummy and daddy. And it looks the dog's bollocks. I can't wait to get it up and working. Really looking forward to playing around with that. So probably between my new gaming rig and that microphone, I'm going to be working on doing a few solo videos and putting them up onto the channel. I've talked about it for a while, but really I didn't have the setup across at my house to do it. But with the new bits of kit that I've getting over Christmas and the New Year, hopefully that should happen. So let me know what you think of that anyway. It'd be good if you're still watching the video, if there's anything in particular you'd like me to cover, even if there's anything that you'd like Ewok to cover, because the thing that we're finding difficult is we've both changed jobs. We've mentioned it before, and it's getting increasingly hard to find time where we're both free to sit down and record together.
Absolutely.
So we still want to do that.
We did have it quite easy.
Geordie Space Program ain't going anywhere, and that's something we're always going to record together. But you know, there is other bits where, if we need to, we could work on doing individual bits and pieces just to help keep the channel busy, you know, and give you guys lots of different sorts of content to watch as well. And then, you know, we always want to make sure that people are enjoying what we're watching. So if there's anything that you do want to see or anything that you particularly enjoy, let me know. That'd be great. So, what have you been doing while I've been on this little tangent about all my goodies that I got for Christmas?
I've got us below the 10k distance mark.
That's not bad at all, mind.
So I'm just going to get a bit closer and then kill the relative again and then do another adjustment. Loads of fuel left.
Yeah, we've got plenty here, mate.
Oh, we do have to get home with it, so...
Should be okay.
So I'll get to within 5 and then I'll do another corrective burn because we're sort of losing our direction there. So I'll boost that back.
So we can see the target velocity there on the nav balls dropping down. So we're just kind of starting to get ourselves to the same speed as it.
Absolutely. You know what Santa brought me for Christmas?
What did Santa bring you
for Christmas? It was beautiful. He got me a 3D printed original sculpture of Jebediah Kerbin.
What a thoughtful gift!
What a thoughtful gift from a thoughtful friend.
Who would that be, Ewok?
That was my good friend Gonzo.
Yes, it was.
A lot of thought into that present, and I was so chuffed when I opened that box and saw my little Jeb.
I thought it would have just been a nice present. I know this is probably your favourite game, or it's certainly the one that you sort of pump your hours into, you know.
It'll shortly be my most played game.
Aye.
At the moment, Skyrim is about 20 hours ahead.
Right.
But I haven't played Skyrim in a long time, and I hit Kerbal constantly.
Aye.
I love this game, I really do.
But yeah, it was just it was a site that I ordered it from where you can get stuff like custom 3D printed, and they do Kerbal stuff on there. And they were having a sale in early December, and it came up, and I thought, you know what, that's a good time to get my friend Ewok a gift. I saw it come up. It came up on my Twitter feed, and I thought, who was best placed to make good use of this? And I thought, well, I'd like one. Didn't treat me so, but thought we'd make a good gift anyway. So
it was amazing. It was incredibly thoughtful.
I was very pleased with myself for that one. I'll be honest, I had a little spring in my step when I thought, you know what, I've nailed that one.
Yeah, it made me very happy.
I was going for tears. I was hoping for tears of joy on Christmas morning. That's what I was going for.
You didn't quite get tears, but you got amazing gratitude.
And my present from Ewok was some delightful little sake cups and a sake flask. I'm quite partial to the old Japanese rice wine. Something that I enjoy, especially over the winter time. Nothing better than having a nice hot bath on a freezing cold evening with a nice hot flask of sake. And there's 4 cups as well, so I'm thinking, is that some sort of hint that you and your missus want to come across to join me and my missus and drink some?
No, I just thought it was a lovely set, and you don't just want one cup, do you?
Well, that's all I need. I only drink from 1 cup at a time.
I've went to RCS manoeuvring now.
Awesome. So you're just kind of pushing it towards it.
Absolutely.
Awesome. We've got quite a bit of them on a prop there as well, so it's really only useful for this as such, where things are.
Yeah, I mean the SAS and Jebediah's pilot skills alone. Oh, I like that. It's actually visible now.
Aye.
They're enough to turn the ship quite comfortably. In fact, I've only just turned the RCS on.
Aye. That's pretty good. Then, so we can get ourselves nice and close.
It's useful to remember this design because if you think about how much fuel we've got left, how much RCS we've got left, this design would be useful for sticking a docking port on top.
Aye.
And docking with space stations.
Yeah, like a little transfer or a shuttle bus system.
It's very manoeuvrable.
It's not particularly expensive, this one.
You could swap out that crew compartment for some science equipment or whatever. Stick a bit.
Now that's probably close enough if you need to start killing your relative. You know, I'm just thinking while we're talking about how great it is, we don't want to hit the thing like a bullet and shatter it.
This is true. This is true.
It's good that you're actually effectively using your old RCS as well. I'm impressed to see that. It's doing quite nice. Oh, look at that, man. We could have docked, you know, if we had the right facilities there. I'm sure we could have done.
Absolutely. Right, that's close enough and it's moving slowly enough. So we'll start by getting the boys from here out.
Aye. Sorry, little lad.
So Jeffred first.
Go on, you're a little test pilot. Go on, get yourself over.
How smoothly has this gone?
Now we do have enough space for everybody in here, don't we?
Yeah, we've got space. We've got space spare. We've got space for 4.
Yeah.
In here.
And there's 3 Kerbals.
There's 3 in there.
Right.
Oh, there's the door.
For a second there, I thought we'd put an RCS block over the door. Thought it was going to be a shit. They're just going to have to hold on to the ladder for dear life, as with the orbit. Right.
And there we go. Oh!
Whoa, easy, Tiger. What are you doing? Don't, that's the business end. Keep away from that. Jesus. You'll toast yourself, you little ingrate.
He just slipped off the ladder, that's all. Hang on. This camera is a bit confusing.
Right, don't headbutt him. If you press space, it'll right itself, doesn't it?
Not with the bloody Kerbals, it doesn't.
Oh. Well, it was smooth. Not quite as smooth there, but that's done it. Get him in. Nice.
Right, next.
Right.
Okay, that's empty.
No, we've got Munford. Munford needs to come out.
Mumford's in there.
Alright, and then so Berlin. Come on, Berlin. Time to go home. Berlin was one of the ones that got stranded and hitchhiked his way across here, I think, wasn't he?
Honestly, I've lost track of the amount of accidents we've had.
Well, let's be honest, both Jeffred and Berlin, that must have happened to them because they're sitting in the, sort of like the habitation quarters.
Can I get in through the top? Because that'd be easier. Oh, there only seems to be one ladder in.
That's a shame. But it doesn't matter. I mean, you managed it before, just do your thing. This is quite nice, look, 2 vessels parked with the sun in the background. Just hopping between it.
You know what, just stop there for a second.
What are you doing to him? He'll just be drifting off.
Oh, fine, I'll go back to him.
Look! Look at him! Miles away! He's
hardly
lost!
miles away.
Get him in. Get him in and then you can do the flip. I know what you were trying to do, make the hatch a bit more easy to get to, but get him in and then flip it over before you get the last guy in. There, he's alright. Good boy. Right, flip it. Flip that shit. Yeah, that's nice. Cool.
And finally...
Mumford and Son Kerman. Get yourself out. Oh, it's drifting away now.
It's very slowly drifting away,
It's
mate.
very slowly getting away. I know that quote's from The Simpsons.
It'll be a long time before that gets away far enough to pose a problem. Now, we could try pushing that back into Kerbin's sphere of influence so that it comes to a crash naturally. That
would be great to watch, but I don't think we'd recommend it because I don't want to see this. This mission's went quite well. Other side.
Other side, eh?
Aye. This mission's went quite well, and I don't think we want to mess around too much, really. Well, that would be good, I think, just get rid of it in the air tracking station. Just scuttle it. Scuttle it good and proper, right up the tailpipe. Get him in.
And there we go.
Awesome.
So, Jeb is bringing the boys home.
Cool.
Alright. We'll come down in the desert, eh?
Come down. Aye, nice flat open area. Just make sure we're okay. That was quite well done, mate.
Thank you.
I'm impressed by that.
I do try.
Yeah, but actually, I know you tried, but this time you've done quite well.
Unset target.
There we are.
There we go. I'll get me proper retrograde, me actual Kerbal,
true
Kerbin
retrograde.
equivalent retrograde.
So there's mountains there, so don't come down too low over them. You can see that little dark patch just as the desert starts on the left-hand side of it. So I really want to aim for kind of the far coast more than anything else. Still got quite a bit of fuel left over as well.
Absolutely,
you know.
it's
a handy little thing.
That should probably do it. Probably come down just over this mountain range, I would think.
You want to keep well away from that mountain.
The physics seem to have improved as well. I've been using time warp with parachutes deployed.
Right.
And
I mean, let's not make a good practice of that. But yeah, that's good.
I'd,
a bit more reliable.
I'd suggest we do it to save time, but we'll quick save just in case there's a physics glitch. Because that would be terrible.
Aye.
Actually, you know what? We're going to need to burn a bit
Start
more.
Burning now, aye.
Burn retrograde a bit more, otherwise we're going to overshoot and... Oh. Still in docking mode there. Don't want to overshoot and land in the ocean.
Yeah, I think we probably will do now though, mate.
No, we should be able to kill that off.
You reckon? I mean,
maybe
the
not.
poodle engine. That's a shame. I wanted to see those legs at work.
Well, I'll tell you what, if we burn...
Angle it.
North over.
North over.
North over.
Nautical north over. Nah, I think we're still going to hit the drink here, like, mate.
Not necessarily. Probably.
Yeah.
No, we'll kill it.
Do you reckon we're going to come down just on the coast of the desert, eh? Do you really reckon? Still fairly high up.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of speed to kill.
Aye. I mean, that comes down fairly sharpish when you hit the atmosphere proper. But
it does, but we're not going to hit the atmosphere until we're right over the bloody coast anyway.
Aye.
In fact, we're about to hit the atmosphere now, so I may as well turn the engine off.
Right, we'll start seeing the ship heating up. Alright, flip it the right way. Give them a comfortable ride. You know what? That wasn't half bad. Slowing down. Still slowing down. We're close. I thought that was a little bit kind of ambitious, mind.
It was. However, I'm not giving in yet. Come on. You're
going to try and push her back over land?
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, we've got that little bit of fuel. Why not? I'd like to come down for
I'd like to have a proper landing.
Starting to come round. Very low on fuel. Oh, you know what? Woohoo! Nice! Oh, it's comfortably on the land. Yeah, that's good, mate. Nice. Well done.
Parachutes out?
Yeah, it'll detach the bottom stage as well, so want to make sure we're alright with that. Oh, that was textbook. Get the legs out. I'm well impressed. That actually looks like a semi-decent lander as well, actually.
Yeah.
It comes down for like a troop transport, as you call it.
That's like the big legs on it, so... All we need really is stick an extendable ladder there.
Aye.
It'll do the biz.
Aye,
Take it anywhere.
Aye.
Almost like a mini base.
Aye, not bad at all.
So we'll do the quick save.
Yep.
And then I'll put the time warp up, and as I say, it should work fine.
It did. I mean, there was a bit of jumping around there. We heard the fuel tanks there explode in the background.
Yep, they've gone.
Now,
take the time warp off so I can straighten it up.
I was going to say, have we got a surface sample from the desert?
I believe so.
Right. Just because I know that usually what happens is when we try to get Kerbals out at the desert.
They normally face plant and die.
Yeah, we've done that a few times now. Let's not do it to any of these survivors though. Let's stay on the side of caution.
That's quite the gang of people we've just brought back, isn't it?
It is. We've done very well there, mate. I'm well impressed. We're down.
We're down.
Crew report maybe just to see what happens. I think we've got one. 1.5 science.
Yeah. Should we just recover?
I think so, yeah. This wasn't a science mission, this was a rescue mission. And unlike most of our rescue missions, that one went well.
100% successful.
Loving it.
Which is fantastic. So, yeah, we've got 1.5 science. We've got 11,000 of our cash back. We've got 2 XP from all of these guys for being in an orbit around Kerbin and returning.
Oh, that's nice.
So they're all level 1.
That's pretty clever, mind.
So let's have a look. So we've got a level 1 pilot, a level 1 engineer, another level 1 pilot,
A level 1 scientist,
and a level
Jeffrey.
Level 1 scientist. So they bring back bonus science, so you get 105% science.
Oh, that's
if you
pretty,
come back
that's
with
pretty
a,
sweet.
If you come back with a scientist. Engineers can repair things and repack parachutes, so they are useful to have.
Right, so you need those now to actually do those bits and pieces.
It makes sense now, because you had the 3-man module, and why did you need to take 3 Kerbals?
you
One
want
Kerbal could do everything. Now you can take a pilot, scientist, and engineer. Well, that's it. That's it for today. Let's scuttle the space station. Almost forgot.
Yeah. Make sure we do this properly.
So that's the massive space wang. Goodbye, massive space wang.
Salute.
Terminate mission.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Okay,
Job done.
I think that was done with glowing success, so I think it's time to wrap things up. What we'll do is, I mean, with this going up on New Year's Day, I would just like to thank all of our viewers for watching our videos and, you know, commenting, all our subscriptions, all of that good stuff over the last year or so. We started last February and we will be going for the foreseeable future and going from strength to strength, hopefully. So thank you very much for your loyalty, your support and your commitment to what we're doing here. It's been an absolute blast. All the best for 2015 and we shall see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Happy New Year, fuckers.